No, it's literally just started to calm down. That washing machine, mate, honestly, it's like it like wobbles so much when it's going. It's like it almost bounces out of the cupboard in the shelf.
I think you
And
might be overloading it.
Nah, she's underloaded this one by the looks of it. But
Right.
oh, it has water spewing out the side pipes, everything. But we're moving out soon, so fuck it. Leave that one for the landlord.
Oh, you're going to have to get a new washing machine, though.
No, that's not mine anyway. I'm renting at the moment. Yeah, when I move out,
That's what I mean. You have to buy a new one.
I'll have to get loads of things, mate. That's why you obviously spend all the money on the car now. So when it comes to moving out, you can't afford a washing machine.
Exactly.
She has come to the end of her cycle, though. What episode is it?
17.
Is it me?
Yep.
Great. Well, before we get going, I've got a little announcement, so I best as well get into it, but we will go into the show afterwards. So this episode of the Just Swim podcast is sponsored by the Just Swim Discord group. Why are you here? What are you here for today? How can Woody and Tim help? Perhaps you like the topics we talk about. Perhaps you like to stick the cast on and just zone out. Or maybe, just maybe, you like the sound of my washing machine beeping. Or you like the sound of our voices. For whatever reason, I'm here to let you know today that you don't have to just limit yourself to simply digesting the Just Swim podcast. We are here for you day and night in the Just Swim Discord group. And it's a whole land of fun. Swimming with people, discussing cool ideas, sharing funny videos, and most of all, it is a sacred place where we can all hang out, chill out, and get to know each other. And I want to know you. Don't you want to know me? Don't you want to know Woody? I thought so. So boys, girls, tell your friends, tell your mum, tell your dad, the Just Swim Discord group is where it's at. Link in the description. Join, and let's get to know, and let's watch the Discord group grow. And without further ado, on with the show. Cue the music. Welcome to the Just Swim podcast. Welcome to episode 17 of the Just Swim podcast, my favourite number, or one of them. The podcast entirely devoted to furthering the human species through talk and discussion. My name's Tim.
My name's Woody.
And here we are. God, got through that in the end.
Did. 17 is quite a nice number, actually, because on the 17th of May...
Oh, numerology. Fuck me.
Well,
Here we go.
why is this not numerology?
Because it's only divisible by 100 numbers. Wow.
No, it's not. It's when lockdowns restrictions get lifted again in the UK.
Is it? Like
And-
17? Oh, so now we're giving numbers famedom over lockdown ending.
Yeah, and I'll be going on a meet and greet with the work colleagues in the UK on the 17th.
Oh, mate, it's already over, honestly. Should have seen the shit I saw today.
Yeah, it's just people have already had enough.
They have, honestly. I've had enough.
So have I.
I'll tell you what. I went to a Turkish hairdresser's today.
Is it?
Yeah, so I've been umming and ahhing. It's
Short
been
back
weeks
and
of
sides.
my hair getting fluffy, and I normally have I normally go to Mitchell's, which is like a posh place, a posh place in town where I live, and it's around 20 to 25 quid for a haircut. And in all honesty, they treat you like a sheep, like in the factory about to get slaughtered. It's like, oh, you're right, mate. Yeah, a bit of Essex talk. Yeah, you like golf and all this crap. Oh, chop your hair, and you ask for it to be like short on top, because I like getting my hair cut every 4 months, not every 4 weeks. And they obviously, the guy at the top's been like, yeah, if they ask for it short, just don't cut it short, because then they'll be back next week.
Yeah.
So I've had enough with Mitchell's, and what I used to do is I used to have a specific guy in Mitchell's that I liked, and he broke away from Mitchell's and started doing it in a shed in his back garden, which was great. But this week I messaged him and he was like, nah, can I come round to yours? Because I think maybe COVID rules, I don't know. He wasn't allowed to do it in the shed. God knows why. To which I was like, oh, mate, like, I don't want you, like, I just don't want that. Do you know what I mean? I want to relax when I get my hair cut.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Even if it
like,
isn't a
how's
shed.
he going to wash my, like, what, bend me over my own sink? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was about to go to Mitchell's, and then I just thought, I said to Claudia, I was like, do you know what? Should I give this Turkish barbers a little go? Mate, did not regret it. I walked out of there with the biggest smile on my face. So I feel like I should walk you through the journey, which I'm obviously going to. So here we are, da-di-da-di-da. I've got my trackies on, walking down the high street. popped myself in the door, and I had my mask on, about to go in. I was even using like the cusp of my jumper to open the door. I was still in COVID mode. Got in there. They were all wearing masks, but the chap getting his haircut wasn't wearing a mask. Immediately, the question popped into my head: do I need to wear this mask? So anyway, I go over towards my chair, and I kind of like gave my mask a little wiggle. I was like, a bit of sign language. He was like, oh, it's okay. Sorry. Well, obviously, I couldn't hear him because he was wearing his mask, but he said something, and I was like, oh, right, okay. So I took my mask off, felt great, sat down in the chair, started talking to the guy. How do you want your hair? I was like, yeah, I want a one on the sides, really short on top. Don't fuck me. I want it really short on top. And he didn't. He didn't. He even asked me, is that short enough? And I was like, nah. And I felt normally when a hairdresser says, is that short enough? I'm like, I bend over and I'm like, yeah, you've done a great job, mate. But this time I was like,
Nah.
just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And he was like, okay, sir. So then he kept going.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as I sat down in the chair and he was like, he knew what I wanted, dressed me up all nicely, ready for my haircut, twirled his scissors in the air like a magician. And then he said, I'm thinking of convincing my boss to accept cryptocurrency.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and I sat there in the chair, and I, like, normally in Mitchell's they just talk to me about fuck knows what. Like, half the time I literally don't want them to talk, and in this place I'd already closed my eyes trying to indicate I'm here to zone out, fuck off.
Yeah.
And then he said that, and my eyes opened. I was like, you what, mate? All right, let's go. And I was like, I work in crypto. And then we went down the whole rabbit hole. He was like, he's been investing since like 2016. He was talking about Dogecoin, Cardano. He was talking about loads and loads of stuff, and it was just great. So what's that, babe? Sorry. Pardon? Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. She can't hear down there. She doesn't understand. Like, okay, all right, fine. Anyway, so yeah, that was great, wasn't it? Claudia joins the podcast as soon as we kick off. So I love you, babe. You're the future of my life. You make me so happy.
Past, present, and future.
Past, present, and future. Yeah, she's the eternity. She is the life voucher of happiness. Right. Anyway, so yeah, he started talking about all these things. He was talking about like asking me what I did. I told him, oh yeah, we were building a casino on Ethereum. And do you know what he said to me? He's like, oh, but weren't the gas prices too high? And I was just like, this guy's not a faker. He knows everything. Like, and I was like, so like, do many people come in here talking about crypto? He's like, nah, not really. Like, I try and talk to a few people about it, but they don't really know. And I was like, so are you investing at the moment? And he's like, nah, not really. I mean, I feel like I should probably just wait till the next time it drops. When he said that, I was like, Jesus, man, this guy's more of a pro than I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I walked out, they didn't take, like, they wanted my card. No, they didn't take card, so I had to go and get cash, yeah? And then I said, where's the cash point? He was like, this one here is closest. And I was like, right. So I went to go get the cash out. And then I walked back in.
I bet that was refreshing, holding some cash.
Oh, yeah, they actually accepted it this place. But I walked back in. I gave him the cash. And then he said, I said, what was your name? I didn't catch your name at the start. And then all the barbers and the hair sweepers looked up at me and went, Alex! all at once.
His name's like, definitely not Alex.
Yeah.
They're all called Alex.
They all looked at Alex, his name. And I was like, oh, cheers, Alex. Yeah, it's like maybe a code word like that they have. Yeah. I was like, cheers, Alex. My name's Tim. I'll see you soon. I'm converted. And then I walked out with a big smile on my face. And yeah, that was my hairdressing today. But I highly recommend. It was brilliant.
Oh, I love that. I don't think I've kind of given up with like getting my hair cut. I'm kind of at the point where I just want it to be long now.
Yeah. So there are a few times when I was growing up where I wanted long hair. There were people at school who had long hair or something like that, like your length, like past the chin, like long hair, yeah. Mm. And I'd always go through these phases. Oh, my mum would hate it, like because it looks nothing like other than a fluffy mop on my head. Yeah, it does. It is like that for a long time. It actually gets frustrating. It does. And I felt like today I was just like walking around. I was like, I feel like I know I don't really want to fit into society, but I like felt like I didn't look like a homeless person for the first time in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't feel like a homeless person because like I'm young. I'm not that like dodgy looking, 6.5 at least. So you know what I mean? Time to get the haircut. I feel great. You did a great job. And I've learned that, so, you know, football players get shaved lines in their hair.
Yeah.
So they do it for style. But I've started getting a shaved line on my parting. And it's great. I just wake up in the morning, shake my head.
And it's
then,
done.
Yeah, rather
Yeah.
than like,
Comb that.
I've
Yeah.
missed
Blow
that
dry
bit.
it. All
Yeah,
comb it.
fuck
Yeah.
that shit. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by my hairdressing trip.
Awesome. I'm more than happy to go in about the crypto stuff because even if it's just a short segment of it.
Don't want to burn people out too much on crypto. I feel like,
okay.
But we can. Let's burn them. So yeah, I sold some this week, which was the first time I think since like 2017 that I ever actually put profits into my bank account, which was a good
don't
feeling.
tell the whole world about it.
Well, I mean, I don't own any cryptocurrency. I never have, and I've never put it anywhere near my bank. But if someone did, they did it recently, and yeah, it felt good. That person said as he watched the charts go up afterwards, and for a second I was like, oh, I could have got 200 quid more, and then I was like, well, there's no perfect time to sell, and then it dipped. Like even now, it's lower than what it was.
Yeah.
And every time it goes up, I just make back the money that I took out. So the plan is to buy the dream car, so that we've got some happiness for when we move in. And yeah,
On your side, because Claudia can't drive.
Yeah, but she wants it. She wants just as much as I do. She hates that little shitmobile, and she likes one of the reasons we're not buying like a just tick the box and get a big car that is a Nissan or something. The reason we're buying a nice car is because she wants a nice car just like I do. So I never really realised I want it until I started watching this YouTube video and like really going down the rabbit hole of the sort of car that I'm getting. But we don't need to tell people the car that I'm getting because that will be a bit of content in the future. It's not a Ferrari, but it's a nice car.
Yep. Awesome stuff. I'm still riding the waves with Ethereum. To be honest, I haven't looked at it today. I didn't realise it all-time high today. I just...
Oh, dude, it's been chucking $100 down every candle, like every 10-minute candle, every 5-minute candle. It's been chucking $100 on top of the price.
Yeah, it's mad.
And it's good. I think that there are big things for Ethereum in the future. There's so many tokens that want to be Ethereum. Like even today, the hairdresser was telling me about Cardano, and they haven't even managed to get to a mainnet yet. Like they've just released their mainnet now. They're so far behind Ethereum.
Yeah.
And you know, at work we're experimenting with different blockchains, and we're like, wow, this one does 1 million transactions in a second, and it doesn't have any gas fees. Surely that's a contender to ETH. But my response every time is like, no, they've won the race. They've got the market. It's just like if I invent a computer that's 10 times better than an Apple Mac or a Windows PC, like you're going to struggle really hard to get that product through.
Yeah, first to
especially
market.
in an emergent. Like, I mean, it is an emerging economy, so there is a chance that there's more. You know, it's not the same as getting a PC. That market is solidified, so you could get a breakthrough product, but it'd be very hard.
And
also, I think there's. Sorry, I keep rambling, but there's almost a beauty in the way ETH isn't the perfect product and the way it has had to be built on, and the fact like everyone's like they develop so slow, they don't get things done, but I think that's actually a sign of rigidity,
stability.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a methodical process to where they are heading, and they build such a mirage for themselves that they stand out. Bitcoin stands out on its own, and everything else to people who don't know about cryptocurrency is just other stuff. They might have heard about Dogecoin. But if you're in the cryptocurrency space, you know Ethereum. It's what runs the whole fucking place. And I can see it. It's at 3K now. I'm holding as many as I can for 10K plus, and I think it will be at 20K within 2 or 3 years. I'm a mega bull. It's not to say there won't be a bear market soon. I'll stop rambling.
Yeah, so I would like an Ethereum. Well, so like back in the day, like the 90s, where it was like the peak of like innovation in computer technology. You had Apple, you had people like IBM, Microsoft getting involved. They were just an operating system. IBM were basically first to market with a PC, like a personal PC. And now they don't sell PCs.
No.
So
I don't even know what IBM just.
I don't know what they
do
are now.
stuff, don't
they
they?
just got so
fingers in
much money.
pies,
Yeah, they've got so much money that it just doesn't matter. But it
just
does
trying
happen.
things.
Like it does happen where you're kind of first to market and you get overtaken. But I think that was just IBM just didn't really know what they wanted to do. They were just doing so much that they just couldn't focus on one thing. So maybe Ethereum might not have that problem, but
can you bank with IBM? Is that a thing? Is it a personal bank?
Probably, I don't know. It does so much.
It's such a finance thing that you just like. It's like IBM. I've got no fucking clue, mate.
Yeah,
maybe they run the world and we just don't know about it.
Maybe. Anyway, I think that's enough on crypto. It's doing really well, and we're both, I guess, just watching it. That's our involvement.
And if you haven't jumped in yet, then maybe
probably don't. Yeah.
wait until the newspapers moan about it going down, and then that's a good time to buy. But for now, don't FOMO in, because you will buy cryptocurrency, and people like me, Woody, and the people before us will sell into your winnings.
Yeah.
And you will be left with dust.
Just like we did in 2017.
Just like we did in 2017. But then again, do you know, here's an interesting thing, yeah? So I feel like, because I did incur losses in the first years when I was trading, and I feel like I see it a lot on Twitter, people talking about that, like how you have to lose before you win.
Yeah.
But the way that I lost money and the things that I did, and then the way that I earned that same money and more back, like the learning cycle that I went through.
Yeah, tremendous.
Was so valuable. Yeah. And I remember looking at all of these materials like Ched, who shared his like trading courses and stuff like that, trying to read it and taking notes. Bits of it went in, but not really all of it. But I read my conversations now when people in my company like ask me about buying certain tokens, and I give them an idea of what I think of it from looking at the chart and stuff like that. It's like, if only I just did that myself. Like, I don't really do much trading now, but I've learned so much, and I realised, like, I'll tell them, like, I reckon that could get 20% in the next week or so, and a week later I'll be scrolling through the chat and I'll be like, oh, I said that. Let me have a little look, and it's done it. Or if I say don't buy that, I think it's going to drop. Fucking drop. Like, I don't get it 90% of the time, but what I'm trying to say is that if you do want to start making money trading, either set up a virtual account where you can paper trade and lose fake money. You probably won't learn the same things that you do losing real money, but you kind of have to, don't pay $8,000 for a YouTube course or something. No. Just lose some money. Yeah, you'll get it back eventually. Exactly. And if you don't get it back, then you know you're not a trader and you can do something else.
Exactly.
So,
I agree. Best off losing money.
Yeah.
I think our learning methods are very different when it comes to trading. I kind of separate myself from it as much as possible and go majority off of just historical feeling.
Well, you're such a long-term trader that I don't mean to like, as when you become a more short-term trader, you expose yourself to the volatility of the market.
Yeah.
And that means that you're exposing the chance and the probability of your proposition of what you think the market's going to do.
Yeah.
You're exposing it more. Whereas with yourself, you're like surfing on the sea, and all you have to wait is for a wave to come along.
A big enough wave.
It's not that simple, Obviously, a lot of your holdings could disappear tomorrow if some of the protocols dropped out or something like that. Yeah. But you're like fundamentally holding assets, which definitely is a brilliant thing to do. I think the difference with myself is obviously the personality that I have, the short-term like fixation I have with life of doing things in the short term.
Schemes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the just how invested I am in the whole space.
Yeah,
like,
true.
It's a huge part of my life. Like, and you've always managed to zone out of that a bit. But and you're such a tech guy, but like I don't know why, but this whole space, ever since we first looked at it and when you showed me Bitcoin, everything like that, it just lit a spark in my head.
Yeah,
Massively.
I mean, it does. It's definitely an interesting space. I just I can't think of a good enough product yet, or haven't been shown a good enough product yet that is actually usable outside of this ecosystem that it has built. Obviously, there are. I mean, like exchanges is kind of the only case, but that's still within the ecosystem that it is built in. Same with DeFi. I get maybe CryptoKitties, but it's a bit of like, well, what is it? Like, great, I can't even play with them.
Well, this is it. So, I mean,
like, give me something real. Give me CS:GO with NFT skins.
I'm starting
give
to
me
really
something...
question what is real, yeah, because I've been researching, which is a part of something to do with work, which I can't talk about in detail, but I've been looking at people who collect stickers.
It's but at least you can fucking hold it. Like, at least you can, you know, baseball cards. I can go to the shop.
At least you can hold
and
it.
hold it.
Yeah, well, on FIFA Ultimate Team, at least I can play with it.
Yeah, right. That's still tangible, though.
Yeah, well, even so, yeah, but even with like, you know, with CryptoKitties, at least I can have it.
What?
Like, it's yeah, but there's something to it. There's something to it. Like, think of a Call of Duty skin. Like
yeah, well, show me.
Gun.
That's what I mean. Like, show me a real game or something that is implemented.
Of course, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but the fact is, that's not going to. That's around the corner, mate. Like, that box has opened, and whether or not someone's done it yet, someone will do it right.
And it's not just about games as well. My point is about, like, there is so much potential for the blockchain. It just, people, like, it seems like people don't want to use it. Like,
people don't want to use it, and the people who do want to use it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Not necessarily the wrong reasons. They want to,
well, they're incorrectly informed. Like, the amount of people who want to do NFTs, and like, so we're talking to companies that are quite big about NFTs, yeah, and like, they don't fucking. They literally like, I want to do this. And they're
NFTs, blockchain.
Tell us what it is.
Artificial intelligence.
Like, what can we do? Big data. Oh.
Yeah.
Right. Buzzwords. It's just a load of fucking old suits sitting in a room like, make money, make money. Exactly. Where's the money switch?
Yeah.
If we make money, they'll give us more money.
Yeah.
And that's so how the world goes round. We went to the pub last week.
Who did?
Me, you, and Tom.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the pub last week. Pubs have opened up, and we got absolutely slaughtered. Which was good.
That was a good little...
Are you drinking now?
Good little session. I just had a double whiskey. It's gone now.
Yeah, I'm still... you need to break me into the whiskey world. I'm still not finding my way yet. I think maybe a JD or something would have helped. I think the one that you gave me was just a bit... I don't want the expensive whiskey to start off, I guess.
Well, the shit whiskey tastes shit. Well, to me it does anyway.
I've got my old rum and coke here.
Single malt, that's the best to start with. It's more expensive, but single malt is a lot smoother than the one that you had. Johnny Walker Black is a blended whiskey.
Yeah, I was like a whiskey virgin. Didn't you think smooth? Let's put some lube on this.
They don't often have single malt whiskies at pubs because it's expensive. They just have blended whiskey.
No, they have JD.
That's blended.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. Fair enough. But my main point I wanted to get across is we got pretty slaughtered, which doesn't normally happen when a few chaps go to the pub. Like, you have a few, especially when I'm driving and stuff. But we just kept going. And I really want to, like, I know our bodies probably can't take it for a weekly thing, but I'd very much like to get that level of piss, like, again. I know you had a little 2 o'clock chunder, but for me, the negatives of the next day were definitely outweighed by the positive of the day itself.
Yeah, I agree.
Which was great considering. So what actually happened was I told Woody to meet me at a pub, and on Discord for about an hour, he's like, "Oh, but it's gonna rain. Oh, it's gonna be shit. Oh, it's gonna be crap. I don't want to. Oh, dab, 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 dab." Anyway, so here's little me. I get an Uber to a pub because don't have a great, like, you know, your dad can drive you around and stuff. So I didn't want to drive, so I get an Uber to a pub. I get to this pub. No one's there in the garden. No one's there inside. But in COVID rules, you're not allowed inside the pub. So I thought if I just wait in the garden, someone will come out and offer me a drink. So I sat in the garden. It's freezing for about 15 minutes. And then Woody turns up with his dad, and he's like, "It's closed." And I was like, "No, Google says it's open." He's like, No, it's closed." And then I went to like put my hand on the door just to see if the bar staff could get in and out. And I was like, "Yeah, it's locked. It's closed." So then we tried a few different places, and they were bookings only. And then eventually, even as we were getting back in the car, Woody was like, "Oh, let's just call it a night. I'll just drop you home." And I was like, "Oh, I could just feel it in the air. I could taste a good evening." And then we ended up at our local, which is the Hutton Junction, which have revamped incredibly due to COVID. They got a huge outdoor space, heaters. Honestly, get down there. It was great. The waitress was banging drinks out. She wasn't slow and useless. She was just there. And if you needed a drink, she was like, "What do you want?" She brought the drink out. And me, Tom, and Woody got slaughtered. It was good.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a good one. I didn't get as drunk as I thought I would be, and
Maybe
I did.
it was just me.
Yeah,
Maybe
Tom was as well. Tom
Yeah,
was,
maybe you got like
a little bit off.
maybe you got like drunk, like slow hitting drunk in a way from what you were drinking. But
Yeah, I didn't
like,
drink any.
in the evening. You got, because I was pretty like, I got home. I remember I was like brushing my teeth, and I said to Claudia, I was like, I looked at the tiles in my bathroom, and I was like, "Has there always been this blue tile that goes around the middle? There's like a blue tile that separates the white." I was like, "I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
It's actually quite nice." And then I looked at it the next day. I was like, "Yeah, I've always known that was there. It looks shit." So I was pretty fucked. Just curled up in a ball on bed and fell asleep. But I didn't chunder, which was lovely.
Well, so the interesting thing, I didn't get that drunk, and I got into. I had a few.
You didn't have dinner, did you?
I think that's why I might.
No, that makes you more drunk normally.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the reasons why I might have. Right, let me tell you the story about the chunder, because it was a bit weird. I got home and I drank not a load of water, maybe like 2 pints of water, and I got a spare pint for when you wake up and your mouth is like, like it's so fucking dry after. It's like a fucking desert. So I got into bed and I fell asleep fine. Like my head wasn't spinning that much. Like I didn't feel sick when I was in bed, which is usually the case with me if I drink. Like I usually get home and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Don't be sick. Don't be sick. Don't be sick." And that just makes it worse. So I got to sleep fine, and then about 2 or 3 a.m., I can't remember, I was having a dream about being sick.
Oh, yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be sick, but I feel like I should just go to the toilet anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got to the toilet and I sat down next to the bowl, and I think just looking at the bowl just triggered something. I was just like, "Bleh." But nothing came out. That's the thing, though. Like maybe some did come out, but because I didn't eat anything, there was nothing to come out.
Going on. Yeah.
So I just had the gagging feeling of like, and nothing coming out.
Getting deep throated by a ghost.
So I got back to bed.
That's one of my best ones there. I enjoyed that.
But it's a good night. Definitely a good night.
Yeah, all right. Well, weather's great, mate. Looks like it might actually be my birthday next week, and I've got no friends. So if you guys want to do a little shindig, we could
go Junction again. Don't mind going Junction again.
I don't think we could do it this week. That seems a bit ambitious, and I've got some shit to do this week, I reckon.
What is the date today?
The day today is Tuesday or Tuesday.
No, I don't mean the day. I mean the date.
Oh, the date is the 4th.
It's the 4th, yeah.
Yeah. So all of our podcast listeners, you've got a week and 2 days to send me a birthday present.
There you go. Plenty of time.
Address your deliveries to the Just Swim podcast Discord group.
Yeah, there you go.
So have you come empty-handed in terms of topics, or is it me again?
Basically, yeah.
Well, I did notice a bad design today. So
we had a Burger King the other day, and I
had a Burger King. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you and your dad.
Yeah, so me and my dad went to Wickes.
I reckon I sold that to you because I mentioned Burger King when I was round your house a few weeks back.
Yeah,
I think I put that in your head.
So it was maybe
Look at that advertising. They should have said, "Where did you hear about it?" She said, "Oh, from a friend."
Yeah, referral kickback. We went to Wickes and we drove through the high street, the Wickes down by you.
Yeah, Wickes is a place where you get tiles and hardware for your house.
Yeah,
tools and things like that.
Yeah, and that's it. And I'm not sure it is that actually, but anyway, we was driving through the high street.
It is. That sounds like an insurance one. I know that they do radio adverts though, so you're allowed to just chuck jingles out there.
Continue. There you go. My dad loves Burger King, like he loves it.
Really?
Yeah, he absolutely. He said it's the only burger that I can eat. Like it's.
When was that? What, from when he was in London walking around, or what? I'm wondering when your dad, because he doesn't seem like he's been going to Burger King much. He's a very organic cooker.
The story behind it is when he was a kid.
Yeah.
He grew up in Walthamstow, which meant he was pretty close to London town.
Yeah. London town.
And he said that
London.
There used to be a place called Hunger Cure.
All right.
And he said Burger King reminds me of Hunger Cure. And he said Hunger Cure did the best burgers ever. So now Dad associates Burger King with Hunger Cure, and now Burger King have the best burgers ever. Anyway, we got this Burger King.
Wait.
And I refused to go in. I said, Dad, I'm not going into that Burger King. Like, we was at Wickes, and Dad was like, I want a Burger King.
We used to do it a lot.
It's awful in there. And Dad come out and he was like, yeah, like that was awful.
The design of the user experience
everything. All
of it.
And he said, and that Coke machine, mate, he was like, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I was pressing that big Coke button in thing. It wasn't even a button, he said. It was just a logo. Like, you got to touch the screen.
I hate those syrup machines. Like, I don't want you to show me that it's just syrup and carbonated water.
Yeah,
like, don't show me that shit.
Give me the drink.
I love how it sprays it out. Like, it's like water, and then a dash of Coke, Coke, water, Coke.
Yeah,
it's like, how much do they make? Honestly, I bet every 10 years they're just like, so this year we're going to put a little bit less syrup in. And we'll be in the future when we're 60 and we'll have a Coke.
Just water.
And it'll just be like white water that's just like a little bit, that looks a bit murky. Right?
Yeah.
But feedback on Burger King before you continue about how bad it is. So the burgers themselves, one thing I like is they do like chunky tomato slices, which sounds like
exactly what Dad said.
It sounds like it's not a lot, but when you bite into it, you do get a real feeling of satisfaction. Now, what I don't like is, in comparison to McDonald's has a strong, like, small amount of pickle, gherkin, and onions. Not even onions. It's like, I think it's just the pickle confuses you and makes you think it's onions.
Yeah.
If they could get that pickle and the gherkin and put it into a Burger King burger, swap the bun for a McDonald's bun, because the buns in Burger King, they're almost a bit like, they feel like they're about to go stale. If they could swap that out and just make the Burger King burger a bit smaller so it doesn't hang over, because sometimes
you're asking for a McDonald's burger then, though.
No, I'm not. I'm asking for a combo because the meat's better in Burger King. But the problem is that the burger actually spills outside of the burger bun. So no matter what you do, the first few bites, it's just burger and sauce if you've dipped it. Otherwise, if you haven't dipped it, you've just got dry burger, and it makes you realise this is a dry fucking burger. But do you know what would be interesting is if, like, because fast food burgers, the patties themselves are nothing like a burger that you would make yourself at home on a barbecue or anything like that. Can you imagine if you brought out a chain and just called it Real Burgers? Real Burgers, £10 a burger. Yeah, and it was real fucking burgers.
Yeah.
I'd be there every day.
I'm not sure you'd
even
pay £10
So
for it.
Miyako, yeah, earlier when I was eating dinner with her, and I was like, "Tell Mummy how amazing she is at cooking." And she's like, "Mummy, you're the best cooker in the world." And I was like, "But she's better than Daddy, isn't she?" And she's like, "Yes." I was like, "But Daddy's better at one thing, isn't he?" She's like, "Yes, you're better at making burgers." So
There you go.
that's the spot that I have in the world. I make great burgers.
That's it.
It's all about the onions. And some people cook onions and put them in burgers. Nah, you want fresh onion in there. Just, get it in there. So good.
Nice.
A little bit of sauce. They also do burger sauce, like I think some sort of mayonnaise and tomato sauce is going on in the.
That's exactly
the
what burger
King
sauce
ones.
is.
Yeah, but the Burger King ones, they don't put burger sauce in. They put mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah, they don't mix it.
Which is quite a powerful combo. But then the chips at Burger King, they aren't McDonald's chips, and they're always in such a small bag. And they've dicked around with different chip types for so long now. I don't even know what I'm going to get half the time.
They're all right, actually. The ones that we had the other day, they were. My problem with McDonald's chips is that you have to get them on a good day. Like, you have to get them when they've just been cooked. Like, if you get our old ones, like, they're the worst chips ever.
So it's a difficult one.
I think Burger King wins in terms of consistency of chips, even if they're not as good as McDonald's when McDonald's are at the best. But the good thing that Burger King is they're at least consistent.
Yeah, that's true.
McDonald's aren't.
Yeah. Do you remember? Did you use the app? So you got any vouchers or anything?
No, I just sent my dad in. I said, I'm parking. I'm not even like, I'll have a burger, but like, I don't. I want you to experience it raw.
Have I told my KFC crisps packet story?
I don't think so.
Because I keep thinking to myself, I need to tell this story on the podcast, but maybe I just told it to my brother when we played golf, and I haven't told you. I'm really sorry if I've told this story before, guys. I don't think I have though, so I'll go into it.
I don't think I know.
So, actually, do you know what? Let me just get something quickly, and I can use it as a tool for the cast. 1 second.
Okay. Quick advert break. Sponsored by Just Swim Discord. Go check it out. Link in the description below.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Look at him. He's trying to do little adverts like I do. Lol. Trained. So, I'm about to open something. What did I just open, Woody? Sound man?
That sounds like either one of two things. My first reaction was, which I don't think it is, sounds like quite a large packet of crisps, and I would say that it's thick enough to sound like Sensations, but it could also be just a big bag of cheese puffs.
All right, well, I think this will answer your question.
Sensations.
Very close. Interesting you say Sensations. Now, there's a reason that it's not Sensations. I've realised what Sainsbury's and other shopping markets do. So, on the back end, they're recognising what are their most purchased items, yeah? And what they do is they choose like 2 weeks where they'll rotate these items to be on discount. And then what that does to their customers is you go to the shop and you see, oh, fucking great, my Sensations are on discount. Sweet chili, great. There's loads on the shelf because they know everyone loves them.
Yep.
And everyone gets a pack for £1 and everyone's living a dream.
Yep.
Clever people buy 5. I just buy 1 because I'm a peasant. Now, for the last probably 6 weeks, okay, I've been going down the Sainsbury's aisle, and every time I go down, I'm almost laughing to myself because they're £2 a pack.
Yeah.
Because they know that they've got you.
Yeah.
They've got you. Just like the nicotine in cigarettes, they've got you. And they know that you're going to spend £2 on a pack of crisps that's not even worth 40p. So I instead have been navigating to different crisps. Now, there wasn't much available, but I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. I noticed Colonel sitting on the front of a bag. And what Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken was saying to me was he was saying, Walker's Max, Kentucky Fried Chicken flavoured crisps, new. They're a multi-pack, the same size as your big... No, they're not a multi-pack, sorry. They're 140 grams, the same size as your big Sensations pack. I'd say you probably get more than Sensations. And they're supposed to be the KFC flavouring, okay? Now,
interesting.
I'd say that they're the KFC flavouring, but they could have doused up a bit on the amount of seasoning they've got on them. They're there. It feels like you're not eating a hot wing. You're kind of licking it or rubbing it on your gum. It's not quite the same thing, but they are quite nice. Now, there's something that's very, very special about this packet. In the top right, and I'm letting you all know now, these are available in Sainsbury's, Tesco's, lots of other shops, £1.70 a pack. Not £2, £1.70. And you're saying to me, but Tim, you said Sensations were £1 and you'd only spend £1. Well, these have a voucher. Let me read the voucher. Free KFC meal, 2 for 1 on meals for 1. See terms and conditions. Now, what that means is that if you purchase this packet, sponsored by KFC, this podcast.
You've essentially got £5 off of something else.
Yeah,
maybe more.
Well, actually, you can stretch it to the mighty bucket, which is £6.17.
Oh, boom.
Now, me and Claudia do go to KFC from time to time. It's like a treat. Maybe once every 2 weeks we'll get a KFC. I feel like the idea is always better than the reality. But one thing KFC does is it serves gravy, so no matter how cold the food gets, I get home, I whack all the food in the microwave, heat up my plate a bit, get the gravy going, tiny bit of salt in the gravy. It's bad for you, but a tiny bit of salt in the gravy. Very good. Now, I took my crisp packet to the KFC drive-thru.
Oh.
Now, I've used these crisp packets before. A few interesting things have happened to me where one said that you could only get the fillet burger box with it.
Oh, bollocks.
I looked up online. It says meals for 1. And the meals for 1 on the website shows a mighty bucket. So at some places you'll have to argue for the mighty bucket, but some places you'll slide straight through. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I got to the drive-thru, okay? I ordered my food. I said I'll have 2 mighty buckets. And I didn't say I had a voucher because I knew that if I say I have a voucher, there's a chance that she'll say that you can only get a fillet burger box. But I know it's not true, and I don't want to hold up the queue just arguing, okay?
Yeah.
So I'll have 2 mighty buckets, please. Big ball of me. That'll be £13. Yep, that's fine. I'm fine with £13. So I get to the second window and wind down my window, and I hold the crisp packet out. I've cleaned the crisp packet. It's looking great, yeah? And she takes the crisp packet. She's like, oh, okay. Yep, thank you. And then she holds out the card machine and she goes, that'll be $13.99. And I looked at her and I was like, what? What? With the voucher? And she was like, oh, you wanted to use it?
What? Why would I give you the fucking crisp packet? Just, put it in the bin first, love.
I was done. I was literally done. Like, maybe she actually thought that I'd just given her a crisp. Like, maybe I thought she was such a peasant that I just turned up to drive-thrus and I'm like, oh, here's the rubbish in my car. How much would that be? It's a KFC branded thing. Like, people are using them all the time. I saw people in front of me giving them over. And she said, oh, you wanted to use it? And I was like, that was the ambition.
Yeah.
That was the aim. That's why I'm here today. And she spent about 2 or 3 minutes at the till getting all flustered, had to get someone over. He wants to use the crisp packet. He's done it. They've got us. They've actually used it. And I was sitting there in my car. I was just like, should I go to the thing? She was like, no, don't worry. We'll get it. And yeah, by the time I asked for sauces, she looked at me like I was a fucking dickhead. It's like, can I get some barbecue sauce and tomato sauce? And then she like held them out. I was holding it.
KFC that day, didn't you? I could, give me all the fucking sauces.
Oh yeah, And the KFC, they give you like 7 sachets, so it's pretty good. And the barbecue sauce is worth keeping. So don't be buying sauce at the Sainsbury's. Just go to KFC and get loads of them. But they, I held out the bag for her to put the sauces in, and she held out her hand next to the bag. So I was holding the bag and I was like, can you put them in the bag? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah. So she puts them in the bag, right? Now, you'd think it was over.
Could you just turn your mic down a bit?
Sorry, it's just, I get a bit excited, sorry. It's probably fine now.
Yeah.
You'd think it was over, okay? Now, the final insult, it's like she could have literally, she should have just spat in my face. My 2 drinks are there. I could see them in a cup holder, yeah? Uh-huh. And I said to her, I have 2 drinks, yeah? And she was like, I was like, can I get a 4-person cup holder? Because I don't know about anyone else, but if you tried to walk upstairs with 2 drinks and a double cup holder, they just fall away.
Yeah.
And she was like, you've only got 2 drinks. And I was like, yeah, but it's really wobbly. Can I just have a 4 one? And she's like, yeah, fine. So she puts it in the 4-1
Yeah.
and she passes it over to me. And I remember I held it in one hand and I picked up the drink and I just shook it from side to side. I was like, can I have some ice? And I just don't understand. They stand next to the ice bucket and they don't put the ice in the drink. So that was it. And the car behind me was like, what's going on here with this guy? He must be ordering like 5 chickens. And
Just wanted to use a voucher, get a nice stable drink cup and some fucking ice in. Come on.
I should have asked for I should have said, could I have the crisp packet back? Like, just used it again next week.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got a new pack here today because Sensations aren't on offer. So next week I'll hit her again and I'll turn up with my voucher. And I might even stick a sign on my forehead. I want to use the voucher.
That's brilliant. Before we got into all of this, you was about to describe to me a design flaw.
Oh, that's the design flaw in my memory. I just spin all over the place. So I went to Sainsbury's today. I never get parking tickets. Like, you're supposed to get a pay for parking at Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
They say that half an hour is free.
Free, yeah.
I spend like 45 minutes to an hour every time, and I've never had anything from it. Okay.
Right,
So people paying for parking, you're just getting rinsed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but one thing I did notice is even if I was going to, so they put new parking ticket things in. So the parking meters used to be like dotted around the car park and you'd put coins in them. Now,
tap your card, but also they're by the front of the shop door. Oh, what?
They're all dotted. There's like 4 next to each other in the same place outside the shop door. So when you're in the car park, you have to
walk all the way over there.
Oh, no, wait. I might be wrong about this because you have to type your registration in.
Yeah, it's just cameras. You just do it on the way out. I think that's the idea. You just do it.
So you don't even need tickets. So I'm wrong about this. That's not a design flaw. I guess the real design flaw here is that there's definitely not cameras. So people are just typing in.
There will be.
Why have I never got what? Never had anything from it.
Because they see you in the shop. Like, they just go, yeah, it's all right. It's fine.
They see me in the shop.
So the idea is of those things is...
What? Do I have a number plate on my butt when I'm walking around the shop?
No, it's just like...
They definitely don't have, this one's flagged, and then they go to their CCTV, we've seen the shop, can I see him? Oh, he's on L5, it's fine. They don't have that.
Never know.
Yeah. Maybe they know that I'm the one stealing the chilies. Didn't do anything today.
Innocent today.
Yeah, paid for the lot. Got mugged off, didn't I?
That's all right.
I wonder how much your shopping basket cost. Like, I wish there was an app that told you how much your goods are actually worth. So, like, you put your shopping basket down, you pay 30 quid for it, but I want to know what is the real price that Sainsbury's pay for this stuff. So, like, am I just paying 30 quid for 5 quid's worth of food? What is the real price of food? Nobody knows. They know. We don't.
Well, it depends.
How is that? It's such a hidden piece of information.
Well, yeah, because, like, I mean, you could. The thing is the reason why supermarkets work well, and they don't work well, but work well in terms of work well in capitalism, is because they're one thing that can order. As you know, they go to Heinz, who do the beans and the ketchup, and they say, we want 1 billion units of ketchup this year, please. And all of a sudden, that cost per ketchup unit is like a penny.
Yeah.
But they know it will, they can sell it for whatever. The more you buy, the cheaper it is, right?
Yeah.
But like chilies, I honestly don't know why Claudia's not growing chilies. They're the easiest thing to grow.
We're waiting for level 2 of our lives, Woody. There's no point starting anything now.
Yeah, true.
This is like, we're getting towards the end of the poo. Just squeeze it out, wipe your bum,
the thing
and
is,
on to the next one.
Actually, yes, a good point. It'll be too late to plant them by the time... You're best off starting them now. Like it's getting a few
Oh,
plants
there's so
going
many
now.
vegetables that I'm best off starting now. But the reality is
No, but
when I
chilies
move
you
house,
just grow in a pot and you just take the
Dude.
pots with you.
Sorry, what did you say? Take the pots with you.
Take the pots with you.
Yeah, well, I've looked at growing things in egg cartons and stuff like that. Like, I know there's things you can do, yeah. But
Yeah.
the reality is I don't want a moving van when we have to move. I want someone in a van, and I'll put my desk, the sofa, the bed frame, a few cupboards folded down, and that's it. Then I've got the fish tanks to figure out as well. We've got all of our clothes. You don't realise the amount of shit that you have. Like, you're lucky because you live at home. You have a bedroom full of stuff, of which you probably use 25% of the items.
Yeah.
But in reality, everyone, especially when you move out, I challenge you listeners right now. Think of the possessions that you have and imagine if you had to list them on an Excel spreadsheet. How far would that list go? And then the second column next to that is a green or a red box. And that says,
People get rid of.
no, did you use it in the, like, is this
right.
essential? How many times have you used this recently?
Yeah.
And I think part of me moving, I want to kind of,
Cut it all down.
yeah, I do kind of want to trim a bit of it. But on the same level, I don't know what I'm going to fucking fill this house with. So I don't want to be spending a shed load on furniture when we're just going to, over the next few months and years, we're going to decorate each room by room and put new furniture in it. So there's no point in just dicking your wallet for the move-in period. So I'm going to have to take this desk and all this crap and just kind of make it work for a few months. But it would be lovely to just move in and just like, oh, let's just leave everything behind. Like, just chuck it all in the bin.
Yeah, I guess the good thing, well, the problem with the house that I'm in is this house has actually got two household worth of possessions, which is all of the stuff from the old house and all the stuff accumulated in the new house, in the house that we're in.
So you've got stuff in the loft from like when you're younger.
Yeah. There's like kids' toys in there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what. Like, I would like to think
My parents
I
managed
should
to get
keep
rid of a
them.
lot of that recently, but
Yeah, I'd like to think I want to keep them, but like, what am I going to do with them? Like my
well,
dad.
this is it. So you have to actually. This is a question I've been having. So I went to my mum's house, and there was this box of cars. Well, it's weird. So Miyako has loads of toys at my mum's house here in this little cupboard, and it's the kids' room. It's also for my brother's son as well.
Yeah.
And loads of toys, like more toys than we have, and they're really nice toys. They're not like goony toys like an iPad and stuff. They're like really good toys for kids to play with. She prides herself on it. Okay. Now, I was looking there when Miyako was getting some stuff out, and there was this red box it didn't match up with everything. It was like almost what you'd have Kinects in as a kid. Do you remember those briefcases?
Oh yeah.
But it was, imagine 30 years back and plastic, yeah? I was like, what is this? I feel like my soul recognized this box, but I didn't, okay? Almost like when you watch a Disney film, you know what's going to happen next inside of your soul because you've watched it as a kid, but your head can't tell you what will happen next. And then it happens, and then you're like, oh yeah, I've seen this. This piano looks familiar, but I don't have a clue. I tell you what, this was amazing, okay? I got all of these little toy cars out of this box. They were all different varieties. And these toy cars, they're from like 1970, yeah? I looked at the bottom of them. That's what it says on them. I even looked at some of them on eBay. They're worth like 60 quid each or something stupid. It's ridiculous, yeah? But, and I was just playing with them and looking at them. And each car that I picked up, there must have been 40. Each one of them, looking at the cars on the ground, I didn't recognize them. But every time I picked one of them up, I'd look at it and be like, your wheel's broken. I know that. And this must have been from when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool to see. And then there was 2 of them that linked together, but I didn't know that as a kid. But now that I was an adult, I could see that they linked together, and you could press a button and it would fire the other one forwards. Like,
The fun you could have had with that
I was like, why didn't anyone tell me?
Yeah. They probably did. You just didn't care.
It only goes now. Well, to be fair, you needed a bit of strength to actually push the spring back, back to make it happen. But I don't know. How did I even get onto toys? Oh yeah, things in your loft. Yeah, but things like that, like they kind of mean something to me. So I was thinking I should just grab one of them, take it with me, and in the new house, like I could put it on my desk. Just one of them. You know what I mean? Because I don't need the whole box. Let the kids play with them, just like I did.
Well, that's the thing. But that's what I'm trying to get at. Is like, I would like to keep them and have that same experience that you just, because I know that that's a thing, because I often go up in the loft and I like trying to find something particular, and I come across like old toys that I've got, and I'm just like, oh my god, like
So me and James Marigold, this is a kid friend that Woody knows of mine, that when I grew up with him I was mates. Him, his sister, and me and my stepsister, or whoever else was around or anything like that, were our friends. When we went around James Marigold's house, he lives in this Victorian house which is quite old, and they had a loft, just like you say, of all these items from like a few generations back. Yeah. And we used to have this game which was called Lofties. Oh my god, this game is amazing. So as soon as you get to his house, right, should we play a bit of Lofties? Yeah, great. Up you go. Okay, get in the loft. Amazing loft. Okay, and all the parents are downstairs. Don't give a fuck what you're doing up there. Okay. Now there's a light switch, so you can have on and off for day and night. So you'd have day cycles and night cycles. Okay. You choose your section of the loft, and that was where you'd make your house. And all of the items were things that you could, in the day, your house was a shop, okay? And we'd make these tiny bits of paper that were like, it would say £5, everything like that. You'd share all the money out at the start. And that was all we'd do, is you'd be like, right, it's nighttime now, go to sleep. And then you'd wake up and you'd be like, I remember I was like selling like a little Morse code device that used to like, do you know what I mean? Like, I still remember that little Morse code device.
Yeah.
But there were so many random things, and you could always choose a new item to sell that no one had seen before. And like, you'd auction it, and everyone would be like, oh, I want it. Yeah. Like, it's just, and some people wouldn't want, I don't know. And then at the end, you'd all compare what you had. Like, it sounds like a weird game, but it's a pretty
cool.
developed game for kids.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, we're like freaking 6 or 7.
That's very much like most like casual games today.
Yeah, exactly. So you think your childhood was good, mate? We were playing Lofties. And I'm telling you now, people out there, if you've got kids, open up the loft. Just instead of the TV screens, go, fuck off up there, Lofties.
Yeah.
Define the rules.
Fortnite. Turn off your PS4. Turn off your Xbox, whatever it is. PS5, sorry. Turn off your Xbox 7.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is anymore.
Well, this is it, though. So I have a few people at work have been talking about their kids playing games, yeah? Like, one of the dudes was telling me, he's like, my son and his brother, like my 2 sons, like one of them in particular, but the other one's quite good as well. He hasn't lost a Fortnite game in like 7 months. And like, he's seriously like talking about wanting to become a pro. And I'm thinking, I don't want that for you, but you are playing at the level of which you could be a pro. And he's watching other pro kids become like millionaires playing this game.
Yeah.
And he's like, his son's playing in the same lobbies as them and like winning occasionally.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird. Like, even my manager's kid I see most of the time will be sat next to him like playing games and stuff like that, and my manager's point of view is he's just like, well, they have to go up with technology and they have to, you know, it's a different world, and no matter how much you try and say, oh, kids shouldn't just be sitting there playing games all day, like, just like Wall-E, the future will be different. And
Wall-E,
you know, the film Wall-E, where we're all like drinking through straws and stuff like that. Like, if you try and prepare your kids for a world that isn't that, you have to take yourself out of this society and live in the woods and give them a world that is like our world that we want them to have. If you don't do that, then they're going to grow up with their kids at school that want to play games and all this crap.
Yeah.
They're going to watch YouTube. They're going to, you know, they're just, it's life. Like, there's all these studies about how since games have come along, there's been a lack of productivity in the workplace. Like, men especially are like, so men used to provide more money during their younger years. A lot of them are struggling to do that now. And they're like tying the association to video games. The video games market is fucking huge.
Yeah.
And like, I remember when we were, you know, when we used to invest in eToro, like in stocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, things like EA and other gaming companies, they weren't really doing well at the time.
No.
But when you look now, they've gone up a lot since then.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to do so.
Yeah.
And like, no one was talking about it at the time. And it was such an obvious thing, like, oh, blockchain's going to be amazing. Well, dude, if blockchain's going to be amazing, gaming is going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
Like, it's the absolute future. It's Westworld. It's everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's VR. You know what I mean? It's the possibility of an entirely new world.
Yeah. I agree. I'm just going to take a quick. Sorry,
Can I ask you one question before, or are you dying?
I'm not dying. I can answer the question.
Do one more, one more. Have you ever tried VR? I don't think you have. Because VR is making moves. A lot of people at work, I see them like, we'll get into a meeting, they're like, oh yeah, just got out of the zone of play. And they're like all sweaty, like from like sitting there with their goggles on, like having a crazy time. Like,
I don't think I have, but I follow a YouTuber. Well, he's not a YouTuber. He's a game designer. Braid and the Witness, Jonathan Blow, and he often tries to keep himself up to date with like what's going on with VR. And I watch the videos that he does of him like trying this new gear out, and it just looks like it sucks. Like it just looks shit. Like it looks awful. Like it's running at 30 frames a second. You like feel fucking dizzy all the time. The hand movements doesn't really line up with your hands. It's just like I will wait until it's as good as gaming on a PC, where I feel like my hands are connected to the game. My eyes are fully shrouded at 140 frames per second, just like in the zone. Until it's there, I'm not putting on a headset because I just feel like I'm going to be sick and just like have a bad experience.
yeah, I really want to kind of like wait until it's like contact lenses or something.
Yeah, like they just
It
need
doesn't
to
really make
improve it.
sense. Yeah.
The only game that has managed to do it well is that Beat Saber.
Yeah, that's what Ollie plays a lot.
That's the only game that's managed to understand that, you don't get full finger dexterity. You don't get 10 finger dexterity. All you get is up, down, left, right. And like you're holding lightsabers. They've understood the.
That's like a body workout, that.
Yeah.
He comes out of that sweating.
They've also understood that like they're not very powerful. Like Beat Saber's quite a simple game in terms of graphics. It doesn't need to load like explosions or anything. Doesn't need to render it's like a simple game that is like perfectly perfectly in sync with what the technology can provide at the time. Until it gets better. I mean, there was one product I can't remember. It might be I can't remember what it is. It might be the Oculus, but or it might be the Vive. Can't remember. And it's got like what's supposed to be like 10, like a control for each finger. And like I see people put it on, and the middle finger doesn't register properly, so it's just always just up, and like the rest of the hands are down. And the person's not doing that on the controls, but it just looks like they've got their middle finger up all the time. It's just like, come on, like just get, like, how hard is it to get a control to work? Sort your shit out. Make real technology. Make real games.
We're pushing through the fog. We're pushing through the fog, and hopefully there's something good on the other side. You can take your break, mate.
Cheers.
Hello, hello. Ah, the first back as always. Hi guys, how you doing? The Just Swim Discord group is waiting for you. Ah, I just had a really cool product idea coming to me. NFT number plates. Don't steal it. Isn't it interesting how ideas come to you? Just when you're randomly thinking, what ideas have you had today? What have you done with them? Have you written them down? Or have you just let them slip by? Doesn't matter if you have let them slip by. It's a difficult world. It's easy to do. Life can be stressful. Life can be brilliant. Have you had a good week?
I have.
You have? Oh, great. So as you return, I guess we'll move on to the... I think our podcasts, I've been analysing them. They often follow a format of a fun, light-hearted catch-up and chat at the start. And then the second half is where we tend to delve into the life questions bag, and I do have some life questions. Furthering humanity and all that.
Go for it.
Did you get a drink?
No.
Just a toilet break.
I got some. I got a penguin bar as well. Do you want to hear the joke?
Ah, tell me the joke. Brilliant. Penguin bars, for people who aren't in the UK, little chocolate biscuit, and on the back of the wrapper, it has a joke. And we've had these since we were kids.
Let me just.
That was always it in the playground, wasn't it? Reading your joke.
Yeah, always shit. Ugh. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Why are penguins so hard to get along with? It's the guessing that is the fun bit.
Yeah.
The actual joke.
No. Let's do this. See how long. Give me a minute of me thinking this through, and if I don't get it right, why are penguins so hard to get along with?
Why are penguins hard to get along with? But so hard is also fine. No.
All right. Why are penguins hard to get along with?
So for context, whilst Tim's thinking, these penguin bars, I know you've just explained what they are, but the idea of them is that, well, they kind of got themselves known for these awful jokes. It seemed like they started off as jokes, but they ended up, like now I'm reading this and I don't remember them being this bad. They're basically just like, almost like riddles in a way that the answers are so bad. They're just like, everyone in the room just like, yeah, throw it in the bin.
I feel like I've sold you this story about Christmas crackers.
Yeah, maybe.
So Christmas crackers, for anyone listening, if you've ever sat there and thought, oh, why don't they just put good jokes in the packet? It's because what a Christmas cracker is meant to do is make everyone in the family feel included and resonate together. We can laugh at how silly the joke is, but we can't
laugh at is a complex joke.
Yeah,
that
if you don't
has
understand
deep
it, then we're probably going to
yeah.
laugh at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've tried. Tell me.
They're always fishing for compliments.
That's bullshit because they're not.
What?
If they said they're always fishing, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's a joke. Like, why are penguins so busy? They're always fishing. Yeah, all right, okay, that's a bad joke. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Like, penguin, I've gone to the zoo before. Penguins never looked at me and gone, what do you think of my flippers? Like, never ever.
Anyway, let's move on to the harder questions of life.
All right, so let me just get my my bag of life questions. Just opening it up, taking one out.
Does it have a nice crunch to it?
What two questions would you ask to understand who a person truly is. So I guess we often talk about, and I think this is why we plug the Just Swim Discord group, because we always feel like growing up,
I think I've got mine too.
we've been thinkers and people who like to question life, and we haven't met a lot of people who do that, whether it be commercial media and everything like that, indoctrinating people into the life of don't actually ask questions about life, just buy things, go to work, go to sleep, and then buy things and go to work and go to sleep. So it's quite an interesting thing, really, isn't it, to get to know someone in 2 questions, because you could kind of identify if there's
I've got
someone
it.
who's awake or asleep. What are your
think-
2 questions?
What do you do? ... Do you enjoy it?
That's an interesting one. I remember Darren Brown. So I listened. Darren Brown is a magician / he's a psychologist, sort of weird guy in the UK, does shows and stuff like that. He's quite cool. You want to watch him. His live shows are better than his TV ones. And one thing he said is that if you're at a dinner party or if you're at a work party or if you're at something like that, never ask people what they do. Because most of the time when you ask people what they do, they say what their job is.
Right.
They don't say...
But that, for me,
and
is
that's
exactly...
Yeah, that's exactly what you just asked. You said, what did you do? But very much you were asking, what is your job?
No.
Or were you actually asking, oh, so is that your way of identifying?
Exactly. It's up to the interpretation of the listener.
Yeah, that's interesting,
to decide
isn't
what it is, and then
so if they say what their job is, then you're suddenly like, well, yeah, all right.
Exactly.
You haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question. What do you do?
Not a lot.
Do you enjoy it?
Absolutely.
I guess my answers would be muddle my way through life. Do you enjoy it? I didn't, but I'm starting to.
There you go.
So, yeah, that's an interesting one.
So, for all the listeners out there,
yeah.
What do you do?
What do you do? In the comments right now, please. And I don't care if you're on Spotify. Come to our YouTube page on the same podcast, because someone said to me once that they listen on Spotify and there's no comments and they feel left out. Well, we're over here on YouTube.
Yeah, come
or
over
join
here.
the Discord. Give us your comments. What do you do and do you enjoy it? And you can say your job and we will think not one of us. But no, seriously, what do you do and do you enjoy it? It's quite an interesting question.
Now, I will say, just to carry on with my point about, well, my questions, I'll just do a quick explainer on them, is even if somebody does respond with what they do for work, it's how they answer the next question, which is then the decider. So, and I was thinking about this as you was asking the question of what questions would I ask people, what 2 questions would I ask people. You've only got 2 questions, which means those 2 questions have to very much be related to each other. They need to inform you, the questioner, of if this question doesn't indicate to me what they are or who they are, then the next question must be in a way related to it that I can then... It's like a... I don't know how to explain it, but it's like there's so many questions that you could ask, but they have to be sequentially related to each other in a way that categorizes them very quickly in the responses. So if somebody does say what they do, how they respond to do you enjoy it very much decide, like for me, I can understand what sort of person they are. Somebody could say, I'm a CEO of a large tech company. That immediately goes to me, okay, I know what sort of person you are. Now, I know for a fact that they're going to... I know what their next... I don't even have to ask the next question of, do you enjoy it? I know what their answer will be. And it'll be something on the lines of, it's difficult, but yeah, 100%, I enjoy every bit of it. I enjoy every hour of work. And And if they do answer it like that, then I know exactly the kind of person they are. If they answer the second question, which would stun me, as no, I really hate it, like I absolutely hate it, then I'd go, well, that's interesting. So I think those two questions for me really do set it. For me, anyway. Although I am a pretty good judge of character, even without asking any questions, just by watching people, I'm very good at understanding what sort of person they are. Even at work, even during work in my previous company, I was very quick to, and I was spot on every time. I'd be sitting next to Austin, and he would say something about someone like after work when no one's around, and I would tell him what I thought about the person, and he would go, "Nah, really? You really think that about them?" And then over the coming months, he would come back to me and say, "You were right about that person."
Yeah. My mum always says that I'm a good judge of character. And since she's told me that, I've almost believed it, which
Yeah,
has
that's
been
the
really
problem.
interesting. But I actually think that I am in a kind of weird way.
Yeah, I think you
don't
can
think
be.
there's many people that have really surprised me. I think sometimes I've judged people due to the situation I'm in. I think one thing that kind of made me realize that was when I was with Tom at the pub the other day, and I never felt like I had judged. Oh God, I can smell someone smoking a joint. I just close the window. It smells like weed. Jesus, that stinks. But yeah, nothing wrong with smoking weed. That does smell though. God, that must be London stuff. But one thing I did think is when I was going through a difficult time in my life, I remember that was when Tom, our friend, was traveling. Okay. I didn't know Tom massively. I knew he was a great guy. And I knew that you were friends with him. And I knew I liked him, just like I liked him and Jake. Like I liked them both as a duo. I liked you guys as a trio. And I was happy you had some mates that you could hang out with in your year and always do stuff with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I always, for some reason, thought a lot of the time when I see people traveling, it was at the same time when I was like grinding through life, trying to become a dad and like doing a shit job, getting no money and working long hours.
Yeah.
And I used to look at people traveling, just be like, oh, yeah, just whip your dick out, fly around the world. Yeah, I bet it's great. And I always just had this perception they were doing it on their parents' money,
Yeah.
which I think I was actually really wrong about. I think a lot of people, they kind of, just like you pay for university, it's an experience that you pay for, and they're happy to, chuck a few grand, whatever it is, at traveling for a year.
Well, it's not just money. It's not just real money, right? It's also time.
Well, yeah, time. But what he did was longer than that. I was so amazed when he told me about trying to make a living out there, especially with his partner.
Yeah.
Because he, to give context, went to Australia and ended up trying to get a job because they liked the area, living together, trying to make things work. And going through the whole journey, I didn't necessarily judge Tom differently to who he is. I feel like I knew Tom from the start of who he is, but I judged his situation very differently.
Yeah.
Just to the place that my mind was in.
Right.
And I think that now I've got a bit old, like seeing that, I don't think I do that very often anymore. That was a decision I made when I was younger. But I feel like now when I see people in the workplace or when I just generally come into encounters with people, like I feel like I do kind of like, I have a strong Spidey vibe sense, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm the same.
And it's such a privilege. But it's also a limitation because people can always surprise you.
Very, very rarely. Very, very rarely.
But then the difficulty is that you become very cynical. You become very pessimistic of people because when you start to look into people, you see the reality that most people, like all of us, are pretty much just bags of shit trying to make things work. And whilst there's also a beauty in that, and you can see that we're all in the same situation, we're all in the frying pan, and it is a struggle life. I mean, when you were gone, I said, like, it is a struggle life, and I hope that you've had a good week and stuff like that. So you can't really blame people for being the way that they are.
I can.
I don't know. I think a lot of the time there's still beauty to be found, and even so, a lot of the time there'll be these people that you do have these opinions of that you don't think you get on with, but you might have the work do and end up chatting to them for half an hour to 45 minutes, and like it's not always as bad as you think. It's not always
No,
as
I
bad
agree
as you
with that.
think.
I do
Like
agree with that. But
there's
that's all
something
it
there.
is. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
and
it
yeah,
is.
yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, exactly. The real life, like behind not their work do and everything like that, is well, let's not say empty, but empty from our point of view.
Yeah.
But from their point of view, looking at ours is empty as fuck as well. I just want to buy a Chanel handbag. I don't give a fuck about the questions of life, Tim and Woody.
Yeah, true. Maybe.
And can you blame people for it? Can you blame people for it?
Well, we can. We can blame them.
It's fine
Absolutely, we can blame them. But
it's
whether
fine
we
for
should...
me to buy my nice new car, though, isn't it?
Well,
I've got a family, so you know I've got to put them in a nice car.
well,
I know, right?
I guess people will have to wait for next week's release of the content series that we're doing to find out what Tim used to think about buying a car.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, it's not next week. It will come out this week. I haven't done it yet, but it will come out.
No, it's scheduled. It should be next week. This time next week. That one should be out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, next week. I'll be doing this week's motions.
Dreams.
Yeah, dreams. Yeah, for people who did listen to the new content series, give us your thoughts. It seemed that video did really well. It got a lot of likes. Got the most likes out of all of them. Got the most views out of all of them. Obviously, I think that's because people just want to click on a thumbnail that has
A face.
our faces on it rather than just a logo, and they know it's a podcast of us just droning on for hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do think that there is something that we want to bring to the Just Swim channel in terms of face-to-face interaction.
Yep.
It's a difficult life. Sometimes we can't do it. Sometimes we can. But when we can, we will. And I think we're finding our way bit by bit. Here's a good one.
What was your 2 questions then?
What were my? I was. Do you know what the hardest thing? So the hardest thing about it is when I bring questions like these things. Like, so I think about them for a while, and I write them down on my little Discord, and then I come to the podcast with them. But I should probably write them down and think of my own, because what I do is I ask you them, and then you talk about yours, and I think about yours, and I don't really have time to think about it. And I know you don't really have time to think about it either, because I just ask you and you say them, and you have some really good answers. Sometimes I do. But I think specifically in your case, the ones that you asked were really good, and I don't think I can... Like, what am I going to say now? Like, what's your favourite flavour of ice cream? Like,
Yeah, true.
so, and maybe that's a good question.
Yeah, you should definitely come up with your own before asking me, because otherwise I'll just taint your perception of the question.
No, but some questions I disagree with you, and then I come back.
Okay.
But when you have to have a specific answer, like not just a vibey answer. So, like the next one, for example, I'll probably be able to give my opinion on a lot more. So,
Okay, let's go.
let me just crank the old questions of life machine.
That's what your new car's going to sound like.
Yeah, well, doesn't matter, mate. It's going to look fucking great. Personalised number plate. I've been looking at it online. Right, so, question of life number 2 of episode 17. If all of your memories were erased, what kind of a person would you be?
There's lots of questions that I need to ask back to understand the situation.
So I'll define it for you.
Okay.
You wake up tomorrow, okay? All of your memories have gone. You're just lying in your room. You're looking around your room. Like, what the fuck? Where am I? You still know maths. You still know what life is. So you still know I need to have breakfast. I need to do this. But what you don't have is the memories of, like personable memories you associate to your personality. Like, I am Woody. This is my room. You know, my dad's next door. Like all these were like, so you'd walk out and your dad's just at your butt. You're right. What am I doing? Go.
I just think that's an impossible question.
It really is, isn't it?
Like it's we are
who we are.
because of our experiences. Taking all that away would mean that I guess I'm not sure I'd want to live. I'm not sure I'd want to. If I knew it was coming, if I knew if a little leprechaun come to my bed like tonight and goes,
You're gonna lose all your
tomorrow
memories
you're going to
tomorrow."
lose all your memories.
Yeah, but you don't know it's coming. That's bullshit.
Well, but if I did, then I would definitely
That
get
wasn't the
some
question,
things, get some things ready.
You were playing Call of Duty and saying, "But what if I can fly?" That's not how it works. You've woken up. You're walking around your room. What the fuck's this? Where am I? Why am I living here? But what
Right.
kind of a person would you be?
Lost.
You'd be a lost person.
Yeah, very much so.
I think that's
This is the
that's
only
not what
answer.
kind of person you would be. That's, as a person, what are you? You are lost. But as what kind of a person would you be? Would you be a nice person? Would you? I guess you'd be pretty fucking
But the thing is
pretty
that's,
angry. But then you wouldn't remember what to be angry about. You
that's
wouldn't
what I mean.
remember
You wouldn't have
anything before
anything.
that.
There would be nothing. There would be no concept of like,
Austin's calling you. You coming into work?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it would be awful.
Yeah. All right. Well, in hindsight, I think the question of life machines done us a bit wrong there, because I looked at it when I was writing that down and I thought that was great, but now I start to.
It's an impossible question,
All right. We'll
in my opinion, anyway.
we'll crank the switch again. Ding!
That's a quick one.
Yeah, this one really wanted to jump out. What are you capable of achieving?
What am I capable of achieving? I believe I am capable of achieving. So there's two separations here, I think. There's what am I capable of achieving? What I believe I'm capable of achieving, and what I am motivated to achieve.
Right, so hang on a minute.
Because I'm capable of doing. I think I'm capable of basically being an Elon Musk at some point in my life.
Yeah,
Whether I
yeah.
have the motivation to do it is separate.
No, but so this is the difference, right? So Elon Musk and other people on that level have got to a point, in my opinion, where they don't ask that question of, they wouldn't have to separate that question.
No,
What
it's
are
one
they
and the
capable of-
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what am I capable of achieving?
Right.
This. And I
Yeah.
can see that I can do this.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
will make it happen.
Yeah.
So that's something that I think motivation is one of the hardest things to come by. I think
Yeah.
a lot of us struggle with motivation.
Yeah.
It saps away at your bones. You wake up and you have all these things you want to achieve, and you sit there at the end of the year. My New Year's resolution was to go to the gym every day.
Didn't do it.
Didn't do it. It's a really difficult one, motivation. It's hard to pin down. It squirms around and it runs away from you. But the question is, what are you capable of achieving? So what I have to say is the answer that you should be giving is you should be thinking about your level of motivation. You should be thinking about your abilities
Okay.
and where those two courses collide. And that is the ultimate that right now you can achieve.
Okay. So what I'll have to do in order for me to answer this question is ask myself a question, which is, well, I'll say a statement first, which is, I am certain that if I want to do something, I will do it and it would be done. Now all it is, so I know that I'm capable of doing anything that I want to do. That's a certainty. Now, what
the
I want to
impermanent is
do-
what wants to do. That's the thing that changes and everything like
Right.
that.
What I want to do right now is
See Liza and things like that.
no. Well, yeah, I do obviously, but like in terms of like a 10-year plan, let's say, what I want to do is be a farmer. That's what I want to do, and I know I will be capable of doing it.
Yeah, I think you're. I want to see that Elon Musk farm.
Right.
It's interesting, isn't it? That feeling like you're special, like that. You said you feel like you could be an Elon Musk's, yeah, and I completely agree. I think you could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I just don't want to be.
I grew up with that a lot, except for I always felt like I could be an actor or a musician or something like that. And I had this inherent belief that things would just kind of work out. And I think now that only emanates through my life in like the ideas that I have, like randomly these ideas come to me. And then just like, I just don't have the utilities to make them happen.
I'm completely the opposite. I am.
You have the utilities. Well, sorry, you go.
Yeah, well, you got it. I have all the utility of doing anything, essentially anything, within some bounds, obviously. I just don't know what to do.
So this is it, like, dude, this is what I find like so frustrating. It's like, so we'll dive back into our friendship here. So me and Woody, yeah. So like he's just said, yeah, I over here, I have a lot of ideas, but no utility to make them happen. And Woody has a lot of know-how and experience in engineering ideas into something, and the ability to do that without question. Like if there was an obstacle course in terms of, especially in technology, but also just in terms of logical thinking, if there was an obstacle course that you could put in front of Woody, like he would know how to get to the end of it, as long as he wanted to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And the wanting is the key part of that.
Yeah. So my job in life is to set these projects for us and to somehow
get Woody to want to do it.
I have this like virtual barometer in my head of where Woody's head is at, like, and it cultivates loads of things. His status on Discord, if he's online or not. Last time I spoke to him, how was he feeling? Have I spoke to him too much this week? Like, and I'm just like puppeteer, like. Like dance, make these ideas happen, because without you they're just words on the fridge, fridge magnets stuck there. Have you seen your Discord, the message that I just sent you? Don't read it aloud.
Yeah.
So that came to me when I was out there having my break just now, just from the thoughts I've been having today.
Right.
That would be fucking huge. We've got to finish we've got to finish Blobs first.
Not quite sure how that would work.
Well, I'm sure how it'd work, and we'll delve into it afterwards.
Okay. Not for too long, though, because I do want to get back to playing Stardew Valley with my girlfriend.
Oh, jeez.
It's a brilliant game.
You're not told her that it's girlfriend number 2's night?
She's given the go-ahead. It's just that it's going back to what I want to do. I want to play Stardew Valley with her, because it's...
Here, guys. He doesn't want to be here. It's going to have to be a short episode, this, because see what I have to deal with, guys.
Nearly 2 hours we've been going at this.
Oh, see, nearly 2 hours. Oh, God, it's counting the moments. It's like, fuck yeah, it'll be go time soon. Oh, jeez.
I have been, actually.
It's the best time of my week, honestly.
Sorry.
You're playing a shit little fucking Pokemon shit game. Well, I guess there's nothing for it. I'll have to choose another life question. I've got loads left. Let's see how long let's see how long we can keep him for.
Okay.
I've got loads of questions left, guys. We'll string this along. Let's ask the ones that are going to be long. Let's not ask the obvious ones. Does absolute power... Oh, sorry. I wonder when people will get annoyed with that. Does absolute power corrupt absolutely? I'm almost thinking about nature when I think about this, when I think about like ivy growing on trees. So you have like symbiotic relationships where animals have power over each other, but they live harmoniously. But once you have absolute power, you overtake and eventually diminish.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I agree with
interesting that nature has a code whereby absolute power, forget political power, like we think of power these days, and it's so much bigger than the concept of how nature displays power.
Yeah.
Because,
Ivy's a very good one. Ivy's a very good one.
Yeah, but a lion has power over a deer in Africa or whatever they hunt. Yeah, fuck deers, you know what I'm saying? Zebras, whatever. But there's a herd of 1,000 zebras, and the power isn't absolute.
No.
Because he can only kill one of them.
Right. That's right.
But then there are some experiences in nature where, you know.
But so I'm going to agree with that statement. Absolutely. Absolute power does corrupt. Absolutely. All the time, every time. Just depends on how long it lasts.
So
That's
going back to the We're Amazing thing. I think I said a few podcasts ago that I would really like to lead a team, and stuff like that. I think leadership would be something I'd enjoy doing. I mean, I've done it. I do it quite a lot, even though I don't have the title. But I always feel like I could do it better. But then maybe all those people think they could do it better. Maybe I'm creating so in a lot of stories you have the protagonist that his journey is to just unwind himself to become his own enemy. Maybe that's what would happen. Maybe I'd sit there and look in the mirror one day, yep, I'm a dickhead CEO. Everyone hates me. My ideas are shit. Everyone has to do what I'm told, do what I'm saying, and I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But maybe I could do it differently. So absolute power does corrupt, absolutely. He says yes. See, look, he really wants to rifle through these. So what is the biggest waste of human potential? Bring.
Biggest waste of human potential. Capitalism.
Yeah.
I would also put democracy into that as well. Not that I'm a socialist.
You mean fake democracy?
Yeah, fake democracy. Democracy that we know it as today.
The illusion of choice.
It's the biggest waste of effort. Capitalism, I would also agree, is the biggest waste of effort. It creates the idea of choice in a way is inefficient.
Explain. Is this like having 10 different flavors of Dr. Pepper?
In a way, that simply put, yeah. But if we didn't have fast food chains, all of those people would be placed better, doing more productive things, rather than churning out shit. Which is essentially what McDonald's, Burger King is. It is shit. It's killing people.
I almost think that's why they don't put ice in my drink, just because they know, their attention to work in that place is just
it's the biggest waste of effort. I'm not saying just like fast food chains. There's all sorts of industries that are exactly like that, where choice it is the cause of inefficiency.
Yeah, well, it's funny, yeah. I'm thinking about this now, yeah. So, I always had this fighting effort, when those machines took over and self-scan machines in supermarkets, yeah.
Yeah.
But let's look at this realistically, yeah. Waste of effort. So we have a human sat at a till, and there's a conveyor belt that goes towards them. They put their hand out. They pick up a can of beans. They move it. It was already moving. It was already moving without them. But then they pick it up. They hold it in front of a thing.
And wait for it to go
beep. And then they place it to the other side. and it goes down a thing,
That's it.
and then they do that over and over again. They don't pack your bags. Like, if they packed your bags, that'd be a thing. They do it over and over again, and then they look at you and they say, have you got a special loyalty card? No. Cash or card? You're already holding up your card because no one uses cash anymore. And then they don't even take your card anymore. You put your card in a machine and you go, ding. Do you want your receipt? No. So tell me,
That's
out
a
of any of
person's
that,
lifetime. That is a singular person's lifetime doing that job.
Yeah.
That is the biggest waste of lifetime. Not like, I'm not saying like people that have those jobs, you got shit jobs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like whatever it is, you're in the situation. What I'm saying is
you're in the situation.
Yeah, capitalism has created that shit for the world. And it's vastly inefficient. Now,
but capitalism is going to erode that because fuck me, the machines there, they've got like 20% of the till aisle. They could just wind that the whole way up. Why don't I just load my goods all onto a conveyor belt? They go into bags.
Exactly.
And they say, fuck off.
Exactly. Now,
and I'd say cheers.
Right. Now, there's a flip side to this, which is the state that me and you experience the world in now is, in my opinion, inefficient. So that thing that we just explained about a till person doing what they do. Now, there is a point at which that changes, where if you add people, it becomes more efficient. And hear me out on this.
I'm listening.
So you get paid a decent amount of money. I get paid a decent amount of money for the job that we do.
God, we suck our own dicks on this.
No, I'm just not being a bit modest.
No, it's going great. Keep sucking.
Which means we contribute quite a lot to, in terms of taxes. We contribute more in terms of money than that till worker does. So we may, like, if you're in the government and you've got like 60 million people, like the UK does, working people, I think it's 53 actually, not even that, maybe 40 million. You've got a database of 40 million people. You're definitely looking at a certain category of people to go, these are our breadwinners. Like these guys here paying 40% tax, they're our breadwinners. Like they are the most, they are the, they're the top of the cheese on the cheesecake. Like they're the cream of the crop, right? We're not in the top. There's a point at which where you earn so much money that you don't even pay taxes. So they're not even the cream of the crop. Like the people that are at 40% tax are the cream that provide all the money to everything that the government does. People that pay 20% tax or not even 20% tax don't. They don't. They're essentially drains on, not drains on society, drains on the government's funds, basically. It sounds really harsh what I'm saying, and it is really harsh, but I'm trying to create a point here. There's a point at which if Woody can spend less time buying his food, he is more valuable doing more work, being productive. So there's a point at which...
You've just invented slaves again.
No, I haven't invented slaves.
Yeah, no, you've invented a hierarchy of like the low, like, oh wow.
But it's true.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Woody. Here are your shopping bags. Quick, get back to work. Get back to work. We need you.
I'm not saying it should be like that. What I'm saying is this is why click and collect is so popular.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I no longer have to go to the supermarket. I can spend less time choosing what I want.
I should have had the hairdresser come to my house whilst I was sat at work.
Right. And this is the trick that the rich people don't tell people like me and you, people in the 40% that think that they can get to the top 1%. They don't get told this information, which is if you're doing something, if you're spending time doing something that isn't earning you money, why are you doing it? There is somebody else that you can pay to do it for you. And the time that you can allocate, the time that you win back, you can earn that, double that, what you're paying that person. And for the government, that means they're getting more money in terms of tax. So I say that capitalism is inefficient, and it is inefficient the way we do it in the UK. It's not necessarily inefficient to the way China does it, where China, they have such a large population that, the 40% taxpayers, they don't do anything. Like, they work, they run businesses. Everything else is they pay people to drive them round, to do their shopping, to take their kids to school, to look after their kids. Like, everything is done for them, in so that they have now created those jobs for those people, which they didn't have, and also are dedicating more time to earning money to better themselves, therefore paying more tax back to the socialist China.
There's also a desire to climb to that top level.
There is.
So that you can have those things done. Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's actually very interesting. That is very interesting. I think you've, I want my bum wiped. But that was interesting. I get what you're saying. I think you're onto something there.
And I'll try
everyone.
Now, the alternative is...
I'm just thinking of what I do in my day and just imagining, like, I don't need these things done so that I can spend my time. And then I'm thinking about what I do with my time.
Well, yeah, so that's the difficult part, yeah. Allocating time
people
properly.
Like Woody, maybe, like, because you're actually, like, an efficient person. I'd like, I might have an idea in the next half an hour. Quick, pack my shopping bags before it comes to me.
Yeah, exactly. They're the two ways that we know how things work. One is we stop being inefficient and we get technology to do the work for us. The other way is add more people and therefore become more efficient as a society. The alternative way is predefined roles, which is what ants use, ants and bees. They are vastly efficient organisms and cultures.
I love watching ants. There's a ant channel called, I don't know what it's called, like Ant Man. I've got no idea, but he has a really cool channel of all these different colonies of ants. And I always wonder how they don't escape into his house from time to time, because he has like a whole room with different ant colonies in. Yeah. I'm like, you must occasionally just like go into your lounge and just be like, oh, you're one of from the ant colony over here.
Yeah.
But they are really interesting. But yeah,
80% of ants, I think it's 80% of ants, it might be 90%, but a large proportion of an ant colony do fuck all for the most of the time. They are simply there in so that if there is a disaster or there is a huge haul of food that somebody's found, that a scout's found, that army of ants is ready to tackle a challenge. And they take it in turns. Like, not necessarily, they don't follow weeks like we do, but they will have some cycles of which I need a rest. Like, I've done so much, I need to rest. And there will be an ant free that's done fuck all for a while to go and take up that job.
They have another thing I've seen, which is if there's so ants get like pests that infect the colony quite a lot.
Uh-huh.
And so what they'll do is they'll form pathways where they'll have ants on the side of the colony that are allowed to escort the ants through, and they defend against the pests. So the pests hit the ants on the side, and then the ants, once they're infected, they just fuck off and leave the colony and die.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They're simply there to serve a purpose, and that's it.
In so that I have realised that one of your terms that you've recently been using a lot is in so that.
In so that, yeah.
In so that. You've been enjoying that one. That is an interesting one. Ants are very, very interesting.
Anyway, that's my big spiel about inefficiencies. What's the biggest inefficiency that we humans have? Well, I think that was the question. There's something like that.
Yeah, so I didn't really have a massive one on this. I think I'm going to choose an ambiguous thing that's just come to me.
Okay.
I haven't fully thought it out, but I feel like, so we definitely value art in society, okay?
Mm.
And I almost wish that we valued art even more. And what I mean by that is, so I think kids kind of grow up like when you draw something. So I saw this thing the other day that was this woman had posted a picture of her like 6 year old's drawing online, okay,
Yeah.
and she'd been asked to draw like a forest or something like this, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but she had drawn a forest, but the forest like really meant something. It was like almost telling a story, but it didn't look like a forest. But it was really deep. Like there was so much to see in that picture, yeah. And it's like a 6 year old or something like that. And the mum had posted it on Twitter, like doing a full Karen job. And she said, my child came home from school upset because the teacher told her that she'd done it wrong because she hadn't drawn a forest. And but it was still a forest. It was just like a metaphorical forest in a way. And whether it's just because it was a 6 year old and like whatever, or whether it's because the 6 year old is like a nutty artist that's going to have a huge future or whatever. But everyone on Twitter started piling in like, shit, this is amazing. Oh, wow, great. And I think it ended up like selling for 200 grand or something stupid, whatever. You know how Twitter is, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I don't think I ever grew up like realizing that when I had to draw in art, I didn't have to draw something. I had to create a question. I had to ask something from the paper. I had to ask something from the viewer.
Yeah.
We never really taught that. Even in
No,
music, you
that's
were never
right.
really taught that.
Yeah.
And like, I think a lot of like our album, for example, when we try and talk about what's in the album, the secret ingredients and why we put them there, like even that's foreign in the music industry these days.
Yeah.
Like the purpose in the music industry is just fucking get stuff people will listen to.
Yeah.
Is it listenable? Is it going to sell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that if we just valued looking at our own reflection through creativity higher in society, if we upped that on the pedestal, we had an appreciation for it, where would we be? What questions would we have answered?
That's
What
right.
shifts in the mentality of day-to-day thinking would occur?
Mm-hmm.
And I always love that. I love like, you know, like occasionally you'll just end up somewhere, whether it's you're in the dentist waiting room or wherever. I don't know where you are, but you'll see a thing of art. There's a famous thing in The Sopranos. Woody hasn't managed to watch any of The Sopranos, but we'll get him to one day. But if you've watched The Sopranos, there's quite a decent scene where I think Tony Soprano is sat in the psychologist waiting room and he sees a picture of art on the wall, and I think it's a farm or something. But he has a couple of episodes where he looks at it and he always questions things about it. And then he goes in and yells at the psychiatrist, like, why the fuck did you put that up there? Is that trying to tell me something? Is that trying to get in my head? But I just think, like, oh, there's so many beautiful occurrences you can have when you just see a picture on the wall and you just don't think about what it's trying to tell you. Just think about how it makes you feel. See where that takes you. Open yourself up. What in life is truly objective and not subjective? So, to make this question more understandable, so beauty, I guess we could say, is subjective, not objective. Truth is objective, but also subjective. But what is objective, but not subjective? Thank you very much. Let's see him answer this one quickly. Just put my drink down.
Death.
How can I argue that death is subjective?
Or life. Birth or death are both very objective. There is no subjectivity about it. It either exists.
Well, it's almost
or it doesn't
subjective in the
exist.
sense of non-understanding. It does exist. So you will objectively experience these things, but you will subjectively experienced them as well. Some people are scared of dying. Some people can't wait. Some people are looking forward to go to heaven.
Right. So you've changed the question.
Have I? Forgive me.
What is the one thing that we can only experience objectively? That's the question.
I guess maybe. No, objectively.
That's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said
No
subjectively.
idea.
No idea.
Is it a riddle that we will leave to listeners, or?
Oh God! Look, he's trying to end it now. God. Let me just have a look if I've got anything else. Is it better to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond? I think, like we all know. Oh, actually, that's interesting because I read that as, is it better to be a fish in a small pond or a fish in a big pond? It's obviously better to be a fish in a small pond, but it actually says a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond.
Depends how big you are and how big the pond is. Depends entirely on the predators that you have, the prey that you have, resources available.
Small fishes get around, I reckon.
Small fishes get around, but they're more likely to be eaten by bigger fish. Bigger fishes in big ponds, there's not a lot of space for them, depending on how big it is. If you've got ample room to be happy as a big fish in a little pond, I'd rather do that. You have no fear other than a heron.
So you'd want to be a big fish?
Depending on the circumstances. If I was a little fish in a big pond and there was no other fishes, I'd do that.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And on that note, episode 17 will come to its conclusion. But don't forget, our Discord group is ready and waiting. You can have ample access into the insights, the minds, the beauty that is Woody and Tim 24/7. If you have a question, if you just want to chill, we won't promise a reply, but we just might get back to you. Now, before we end the podcast, we must move on to an important segment, which is the Just Swim riddle. Upon popular demand, we are returning to offering you a riddle at the end of every episode. And upon popular demand, we will continue to forget to answer these. The riddle reads, the Mustard family. Mr. and Mrs. Mustard have 6 daughters. Each daughter has 1 brother. How many people are in the Mustard family? I repeat. Mr. and Mrs. Mustard have 6 daughters. Each daughter has 1 brother. How many people are in the Mustard family? Thanks for listening. It's been the Just Swim podcast. Good night.